Good morning, Mama S here, and today we're going to talk about blog post number 42, why we avoid maybe. This one's kind of an interesting one that I've had to have a lot of conversations with people to kind of explain, because most parents say, well, can we do this? Maybe. Can we do this? Maybe. Can we do this? I'll think about it. Can we do this? Maybe. And in our household, we can't do maybe. It is a hard yes or a hard no with very few maybes mixed in, and today we're going to talk about that. So when Precocious came to us, we were your typical parents, and she would ask so many questions and so many different things and testing boundaries and kind of figuring it out and just learning us, and we were learning her. And she would ask questions like, can we go to the park on Tuesday? And like, I don't know, maybe. It depends upon the weather. And she's like, can we have spaghetti for dinner this week? Oh, I don't know, maybe. We'll see if we have pasta and, what day we have time. And can we go to the Dells next year for my birthday? Oh, I don't know, maybe, we'll kind of see. And we had a lot of maybes that were going on. And in the beginning, we didn't really realize that that was the problem. But as we went on, we saw that she would be very panicked whenever we said maybe. And she would ask that same question over and over and over again. And I'm not just talking like once a day. I'm talking that she'd ask the same question 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in one day. And obviously we weren't ready to commit. And we were like, well, what's going on? And like, well, we don't know. We don't know if we can go to the park on Tuesday because we don't know if the weather's going to be, what the weather's going to be like, and different things like that. And we pay a lot of attention in how she reacts to different things. And we started to realize that maybes gave her a lot of panic, but when we gave a hard yes or a hard no and followed through with it, she relaxed. She was very comfortable, and she was like, okay, they said no, that answer is no, and we can kind of move on. And that's when we really started to realize that she's a very black and white thinking person, and maybe is such a shade of gray that it gives her an extreme sense of anxiety and uneasiness. And so as a family, we decided to start limiting the use of the word maybe. We still sprinkle it in from time to time because she needs to see that discomfort and the world that she's going to live in once she's no longer living with us, when she's 18, 20, 30, 70 years old. There's a lot of maybes out in the world. There's a lot of gray. But for right now, while we're helping her grow and heal, we can do everything in our power to make her environment as safe and comfortable as possible. So in those examples, can we go to the park on Tuesday? Well, we look at the weather and we see, if there's any chance of rain. We just say we can't go to the park on Tuesday because the weather is going to be bad. Let's keep an eye on the weather for a different day. And we don't give any particular days, but we've answered that question. Can we have spaghetti this week? We look at that point, see if we have any noodles, and then we write it on the calendar. So let's have spaghetti on Tuesday. We write it on the calendar for Tuesday, and then we have spaghetti on Tuesday. Or, can we go to California to visit our friend? Can we go to California in March? We know that we can't go to California in March, so that answer is no, we can't do that. That's just not a possibility. But we do try and take any of those no's and reshape them as a yes. So an example, this last Friday we were camping. We got to the campground late. We got everything set up. It was just, we were trying to unwind and kind of go from there. And she wanted a s'more, but she was really wound up. I think there was a lot of anxiety around camping and being around family and just being outside and not knowing what to expect, and there was just a lot, and she was just super wound out. And she's like, oh, can we have a s'more? And I said, absolutely, you can have a s'more tomorrow night. And she looked at me and she thought about it and she went, okay, and went back to what she was doing. Now, if you think about it, that answer wasn't no. She could not have a s'more that day. But instead of saying, no, you can't have a s'more, you can have one tomorrow, I rephrased it as yes, you can have a s'more tomorrow. It's the exact same answer. It's a little bit easier to swallow. And in the blog post, I didn't read it today like I should have, but in the blog post, I believe I talked about how much we hate hearing the word no as adults. And one of the examples is you have this really great idea and you bring it to your boss and you're really excited and you're like, this is going to save the company a ton of money and everything's going to be fantastic. And out of hand, they're like, no, we can't do that. Like how deflated you feel and how devastated you feel and just how terrible that is versus having a little bit more of a conversation around, you know what, that's a really great idea and I can see where that could be beneficial. At this point with our budget, we don't have the budget for it or we don't have the manpower for it. It's a little bit easier to swallow. And as adults, if we get frustrated when we hear no, and we have the rational ability to kind of figure it out and understand why the no is no, imagine being a little kid and just hearing no all the time. And another example of when we rephrase no's as yeses is when we're in the store and, oh, can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this? Because she wants everything and feels that you buy her love. We'll say, absolutely, let's add that to your birthday list. Or absolutely, let's add that to your Christmas list. Or, if that's something that you'd still like at your birthday, make sure to write that down. Or if you'd like that, at this time, let's write that down and let's remind us. And she's like, yeah, the answer is no. I'm not buying you a $30 toy right now when we're in the store to buy Q-tips and, whatever else. But letting her know that in a soft way, it's not a no today, but it's still, if this is something that you want later on is fine. But we do a lot of that rephrasing or, can we have a fire and it's Friday night and it's about to rain and we know that Saturday is going to be better. It's like, yeah, that's a really great idea. Let's have a fire on Saturday or let's have a fire on Sunday because the weather is going to be really nice. And again, that's a no for today, but it's a little less of an aggressive no. And so that's kind of how we avoid the word maybe, and we try and really avoid the word maybe, and we honestly try and avoid the word no while still giving no's. Now, there are times when she will ask a question and it is a hard no. And the answer comes out, no, we can't do that because of this. No, that's not safe. No, that's not appropriate. Things like that where there can be no confusion about the fact that what she's asking for is definitely, that's a hard no. And even sometimes we'll say that, like, that's a hard no. Like, that's not something that we can do today, and that's not something that we can do in 10 months. So we do also let her know that, but everything else, like, life is really hard for kids. There's so much pressure nowadays, and there's competing attentions, and kids don't know how to be friends, and there's a lot of challenges. So we definitely try and help her have a successful time without giving in on things that we find are appropriate or just not possible, and also letting her know, like, the answers are sometimes going to be no. The other one that we do where we avoid the word maybe, we try and avoid the word no, is around food. So we've got a lot of challenges around food for a variety of reasons, and she can't handle being hungry, not even a little bit, the tiniest little bit hungry, and she gets very uncomfortable. And so she asks for a snack every hour. When it's really close to dinner, like I'm wrapping up preparing dinner, I just let her know, can I have a snack? Can I have a cheese stick? Can I have, whatever. We're about to eat in 10 minutes. So let's wait for dinner. If we're more than an hour out, then absolutely. She has a little snack, something small, just to kind of, so that she knows that there's food and everything will be okay. But we live in an instant gratification world where everything you want, you get, and that's not the way that it necessarily works as an adult. You have to wait for things. So we let her know, when she's in the car and she's thirsty. Okay, well, we're going to be at our destination in 30 minutes and we'll get you some water there. We don't necessarily go through the drive-thru to get her something right away. Or, like I said, it's the morning and I'm making breakfast and she wants to eat a snack. Nope, you've got to wait. We're currently making it. You can come and help so you can see that we're making food and things are coming out. Absolutely. Or, I want to watch this movie or I want to see this movie and we don't have the time. Nope, we can't do that today, but we can do this a different day. And there's actually a lot of science around teaching that delayed gratification and how that helps children perform in school. So it's really cool. I'm so sorry I jumped around so much. This is just one of my topics that I get really passionate about and I find really interesting. The avoiding maybe, turning no's into yeses, and delayed gratification. So we kind of went through quite a bit of it today. So go ahead and drop any comments that you have on any of the topics. Let us know what your thoughts are. Please go ahead and subscribe. And if you're enjoying, please share our videos. We want to increase our viewership, and the best way we can do that is if you share. So thank you very much and have a great day.